Hi, so I've taken bombing mission number 6 from Ren's World Campaign book, and I've tried to make it more match play available. What I've done, both sides will have objectives to be bombed, and both sides will be trying to defend their own objectives at the same time. As a result, both sides get 150 points. They must include one bomber, one fighter, one ground defense, and 3 bases. No scouts. So that's the minimum size forces. One bomber, one fighter, one ground defense. You can have as many extras beyond that as you want, but those are the minimums. Objectives are set up only 6 hexes from the map edges. This is because I found that 9 hexes in, they're too close to each other, and it just makes it a little more easy for some forces to take advantage of the spacing. I'm using larger map, 18 by 19 hexes. If you're using the smaller maps, try to keep the objectives from each side in the long range band, 7 to 10 hexes apart. Some other recommendations: you really want as many bomber types as you can get, and they should be able to defend themselves or have lots of things defending them. Remember, you must destroy one objective in order to win, otherwise, no matter how high your points, you can only get a draw. Bombers should be able to take out at least one objective by themselves, preferably 2. Note that Orc fighter bombers are a class fighter, not class bomber. So if you're trying to do this in organized play, you might want to make note of this for your players, or make an exception and allow the Orc players to use fighter bombers as their bombers. You need at least one fighter, but I find you're tempted to take too many fighters, and as a result your bomber selection is lacking. Remember, you're trying to bomb objectives. While nice to take and stop his bombers from taking your stuff, you still have to destroy his, so make sure you have enough attacking aircraft. Also, ground defenses, I would normally recommend 3. I found ground defenses are going to be your main deterrent against attack. Most bombers, whether they're dropping bombs or strafing, they're going to want to be at altitude 1 or 2, and that's where the ground defenses are highly effective. Another note: packages with GW anti-aircraft ground defenses are hard to come by sometimes. You may want to make allowances for people to use homemade counters or models to act as their ground defenses and or their bases. So here's the Orc force. First of all, we got 2 Daka jets. These are bare bones, no extra points installed. I don't like putting options on a 2 structure point fighter because there's a huge chance the fighter will be destroyed before it's useful. I then put in 2 fighter bombers, each with extra armor, custom big shootas, and 2 pairs of wing bombs. Now, I did consider putting rockets on the fighter bombers, but when it comes to rolling dice, my averages tend to roll under the curve. So I wanted the extra dice for the higher probability of hitting and the higher probability of damaging, as the bombs damage usually on a 2+ if I do hit something. The fighter bombers are going to be my first wave to get in, hit the targets, and get out as soon as possible, and hopefully shoot up other aircraft along the way, or then go in and support the heavy bomber as it comes in to make its attack. Finally, 1 heavy bomber, again extra armor, custom big shootas, and 1 big bomb. I chose the heavy bomber because it's the only bomber class the Orcs have right now with ground attack capabilities. I contemplate the Grot bomber, but the Grot bombs don't seem to have an actual ground attack ability, so I'm not sure the Grot bombs can be used against ground targets. So we're stuck with at least 1 heavy bomber for the Orcs. I added the extra or the heavy bombs for the extra dice on the attack, but honestly, you could have put 2 pairs of the regular wing bombs, which would allow you an extra attack and possibly hit an extra target. Though I don't think the bomber was fast enough to get to use it on a second objective. And in the end, it turned out this was kind of prophetic. We also included 2 flak platforms and 1 heavy flak cannon. I took the 2 flak platforms at the higher cost over the heavy cannon simply for the number of dice they roll. The closer you get in with them, the more they shoot, the more the possibility of hitting and damaging they do. Yes, they're a little bit more than the heavy flak cannon, but the sheer weight of fire is very impressive and more likely to do the kind of damage you want to do. The heavy flak cannon, he's my long range, higher altitude, doing damage attack. So all done, the total is 150 points for the Orc force, so there's no extra points. So for the Tau force, we have 1 Barracuda AX-5-3, that's the burst cannon variant. I've added the long barrel burst cannon drones for some extra firepower. I chose the burst cannon option for the Barracuda just for the sheer volume of fire. With 2 structure points, I don't expect a round long, so I want at least 1 good round of shooting before it explodes. Next, we have 2 Tiger Shark AX-1-0-2. These are the Swift Strike Railgun versions. Each has got an armored cockpit and ion blaster drones. I chose these simply because they are the cheapest bomber we have. The railgun does damage on a 2+ and extra damage on a 6, but with a low rate of fire, it could be an issue trying to take out the objectives. Final Tiger Shark is an AX-1-0 with the heavy rail cannon. Again, this was an experimental choice. It gets an extra shot at long range and extra damage on a 5+, so it's slightly better than the other Tiger Sharks. We'll just have to see if it's worth the extra points. Given all the Tiger Sharks the armored cockpit as well as cyclic ion blaster drones for self-defense at close range. Tiger Shark is not as maneuverable as the Barracuda, and more importantly, the Tau have no bombs per se. Tiger Sharks on a ground attack runs have to strafe, and so it's a very predictable, straight flight path. Ion drones let the Tiger Sharks get a couple defensive shots at short range, and where the Orcs want to be. Long barrel burst cannon drones have no shots at short range, so they're not good for that defensive purpose. If an ion drone does hit, it does the damage on a 4+ instead of 5+, so you get better short range defense with 2 shots as opposed to no shots with the burst cannon, and a better chance of doing damage against an opponent who wants to get into short range. Would I use the ion drones against any other opponent? Probably yes for Tiger Sharks. As I said, they're not as maneuverable, not as fast as a Barracuda, and they're more likely to get stuck at a close range where they won't be able to use any of their other weapons. I might consider going for a mix of the drone types against any other opponent other than Orcs. Finally, for ground defense, we have 2 Skyfire platforms. These are the burst cannon variants. Lots of shots at medium range. They lose a bit of firepower at short range, but they're still doing 4 shots. They're still respectable at short range against any attacking aircraft. And finally, the Storm Fury. This is more altitude control as it's armed with the railgun, so it's not affected by the altitude as much as the Stormfire. It still has the same ranges. It's got 2 shots out to long range, 2 shots at medium range, and 1 shot at short range. But if you hit, you're damaging on a 2 and you're doing extra damage on a 6. I could have chosen to take and spend 2 more points and get another Sky Fury platform for a total of 3 Sky Furies, but I simply want to try out the Storm Fury. So all told, the Tau force comes in at 148 points. That would mean the Orcs automatically start with 2 victory points as the Tau haven't completely filled their roster. So today's mission is the bombing run. However, to make it more match play-ish, both sides have 3 objectives, each with 4 structure points. Each structure point is worth 5 points. Each side has 150 points worth of aircraft and ground support. You can see in the top right corner we have the Orcs with 2 fighter bombers. The fighter bombers are coming with extra armor and custom shooters. And because I don't trust rockets, I took 2 pairs of wing bombs. So they will be able to actually bomb the objectives. Down at the lower right, I have a heavy bomber. He has a set of big bombs, extra armor, and he's being escorted by 2 Dakka jets that are plain Jane, nothing on them. Thing I'm going to have a hard time remembering is, although the fighter bombers and the heavy bomber have extra armor, I have a habit of forgetting that it reduces the top speed by 1. So right now the Orc fighter bombers in the top right corner, they're traveling at max speed 6, altitude 3, to try to stay out of the primary fire zone of the Tau burst ground emplacements. And the Dakka jets are traveling at speed 6 because they can accelerate to maximum speed 8, again traveling altitude 3. And the heavy bomber is traveling at his max speed of 3, again at altitude 3, just so that he can hopefully stay out of the worst of the ground fire. On the Tau side, midfield, I've got a Barracuda. The Barracuda is the burst cannon variant. I've also given him the burst cannon drones, just to give him a little extra firepower. That's all he's got. I also have 2 Tiger Sharks with the standard rail rifle. Those are the ones with the red wingtips. They are coming in with cyclic ion blasters and armored cockpits. Now, armored cockpits make sense because they're a big vehicle. They need extra saves if they can get it. I chose the ion blaster drones because the Tiger Sharks don't have the maneuverability to stay away from the Orcs. They need some sort of defensive mechanism at short range. The catch-22 is for them to be effective, the Orcs have to be at the same level or below them. And because Tau do not have bombs, they have to do strafing runs. And finally, the white-tipped Tiger Shark is the 0 variant with the heavy railguns, and again he has an armored cockpit and the cyclic ion blasters. One last thing I'm going to mention before we do any rolling off here, because I'm playing solo here, to make sure I play more fair, I will roll the dice at the beginning of the turn. Green for Orcs, white for Tau. High dice gets first move and shoot. So turn 1, rolling, and it's tie, 5-5. Let's try again. 4-4. This is already looking to be an interesting game. And 6-6. Okay, this has never happened to me before. All right, so Tau finally win with the high dice of 4, and the Orcs have a 2. So I'm just going to reposition things a bit and then we'll continue. I forgot to mention what the ground defenses are. For the Tau, they have 2 of the Skyfire platforms and 1 Storm Fury platform. And on the Orc side, they have 1 heavy flak cannon and 2 flak platforms. Now, it should be noted in the rules or the FAQ, you can deploy your ground defenses within 3 hexes of an objective. So, starting activations of turn 1. First thing we're going to do, this Tau Tiger Shark chose to do a straight maneuver. He's presently traveling speed 3. I think I'm going to drop him down to speed 2, leave him at altitude 1, And if I've done this right, 1, 2 hexes forward, he's now within range of that flak battery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Long range, but he's there. I'm leaving the maneuver counter out to remind me that he has not fired yet. When I shoot, I will take and remove the counters. On the Orc side, Orcs have a bit of advantage. They have more aircrafts, they have more activations, and because they're starting second, they're actually going to have a chance to move 2 aircraft after the tile instead of just 1. And the first move is pretty much a giveaway. We're going to take and move the heavy bomber straight ahead. Now he's at speed 3. That's the maximum he can do with heavy armor. So he's just going to go forward 1, 2, 3. He's maintaining his altitude of 3 because the ground defenses, the sky fire at the top side, very effective up to level 2, but you start suffering penalties above level 2. So that's going to be the Orc first move. Moving Tau again. I think we're going to do this other normal railgun variant. I'm going to leave him at speed 3. 1, 2, 3. This will leave him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's in range to shoot at that objective. That's where he sort of wants to be. First fighter bomber. He's traveling at max speed. Again, maneuver 1 straight ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At this point, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 5 away, not the best range to shoot at the ground defense, but he's also traveling at altitude 3. He's not going to be able to strafe him. He should get some defense from the 2 burst cannon mounts. Unfortunately, it won't help him against the railgun. The good news is the railgun variant has fewer shots. Finally, for the Tau, we'll move the last Tiger Shark. Again, he's traveling speed 3. I'm going to let him go 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be his move. I think on this side, we're just going to move one of the Daka jets. He's traveling speed 6 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could push him to 8. That'll get him into short range. He could do a strafe for that thing. But he's at altitude 3. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to push him to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn to fire at this one because that's going to be the worst one. He's going to drop altitude to altitude 1 because he's going over 6. That'll actually push him to speed 9. We're going to have to do a test on his construction for this. So to see if he avoids damaging himself because he tried to go too fast, the handling of a Daka jet is a 4+. We need to roll 4 higher to avoid taking damage. And unfortunately, he failed. So because the Daka jet failed his handling test doing a dive, he's going to suffer 1 structure point at this point in time. That's not good because the Daka jet only has 2 structure points. So Tau's final maneuver is going to be the Barracuda. Now he's chosen to do a stoop, maneuver number 6. So first thing he does is he's going to do a turn to the right, move at least 1 hex forward, then he's going to turn to the left. He's traveling speed 3, I'm setting him up to speed 5, which is his maximum speed. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he turns again to the right. And he's going to climb so that he he's at altitude 1. He's going to dive to 1. So by diving, the top player has actually pushed past his maximum speed as well. He needs to do a handling test as well. Fortunately for him, his handling is a 2+. And he got the 2, so he's fine. And this is where the orcs have the advantage. They still have 2 planes that they can move. And now that they know everywhere that the Tau have gone, they can adjust their headings to match where they want to go for the best shot. So he's at speed, altitude 1. They're all at altitude 1 now. He's at altitude 3. He can dive 2. I'm going to drop or increase him to speed 7. He's going to move his maneuver of 1, which is straight ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to leave him there like that and drop his altitude by 2. So he's at altitude 1, which will increase his speed to 8, which is actually his maximum speed. So he's okay. He hasn't exceeded his speed. He doesn't take any damage for that. And finally, this orc fighter bomber, he's doing a 1 as well. He's going maximum speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, unlike aircraft, you can move ground objectives to the side or put them on top of the base. They can occupy the same hex as the aircraft. So that takes care of the movement phase. Next, shooting. I think I screwed that up. So shooting turn 1, Tau get first activation. We're going to start with the Barracuda over here shooting at the Dakajet before it has a chance to blow up my ground defense. So at medium range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep. Tiger Shark gets 6 shots, but he also has the burst cannons, which have the same stat line, for another 3. So he's going to get a total of 9 shots. So I've got 8 dice here. I'm going to have to re-roll 1 dice. Let's see what we do for hits. 5+ to hit. Not good. I've got 2 hits. But he's already damaged. I just need 1 more 5+ to shoot him down. And I got it. So first casualty is a Dakajet shot down by the Barracuda. So seeking revenge, the Dakajet is going to take a shot at the Tau Barracuda. They're both at the same altitude, so they're both hitting on 5s. Or sorry, the Dakajet's hitting on 5s and then damaging on 5s. So much better shooting from the orcs. Again, needing 5s to damage. Unfortunately for the Barracuda, he only has 2 structure points. And he lucked out. There's only 1 5. Barracuda takes a single structure point. So for the Tau second activation, the heavy railgun variant of the Tiger Shark is going to try to hit this objective. At maximum range, he gets 3 shots with his paired heavy rail cannons. At altitude 1, he's hitting on 5+, but he damages on a 2+, doing extra damage on a 5+. So rolling the dice, let's see how many 5s we can get. Well, he got 1. Now he just needs to roll 2+, and he got it. So there's a single damage point on this objective. He also has missile pods. At this range he gets a single shot, again needing a 5+ to hit. He hits, and then he needs a 4+ to damage. Oh wait, missile pods are aerial attack only. He can't use them. So no further shooting from the heavy railgun variant. I was just about to say that the orcs have no more shots because they're all flying too high, and then I remembered, oh, ground defenses have activations as well. So for the first orc activation, the farthest ACAC gun or flak platform is going to take a shot at the Barracuda as it's the closest target to him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's at long range. He does have an effective altitude of 2, so he's hitting on 5 pluses and damaging on 5 pluses. So let's see if we can do anything against the Barracuda. Remember, Barracuda's already damaged, only has 1 more structure point. Oh, we got 1 hit. Needing a 5+ to damage. No, fails to damage. I'm just going to rotate those there so I don't forget again. So the Tiger Shark over here was going to take and shoot at the defense platform, but this Daka Jet's in a great range as well. So he's going to take a shot at him instead. Both of them are at altitude 1, so they're hitting on 5+. At long range, the Tiger Shark has 2 shots with his railguns. Needing 5s to hit. No hits for the Tiger Shark. But he also has 1 missile pod. Again, needing 5s to hit. Misses again. So the flak platform at the other end of the orc line is going to take another shot at the Barracuda. Again, long distance. He gets 2 shots, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And we actually got 2 hits. Needing 5s to shoot down the Barracuda. And he's got him with 2 hits. He only needed 1 to finish shooting him down. So the Barracuda is gone. The final Tiger Shark is going to take a shot at this objective. Again, 2 shots, needing 5s to hit and 2+ to damage. No hits. Missile pods cannot shoot at ground targets, so that takes care of the Tau aircraft. So the last orc defense, the heavy flak cannon, is going to shoot at the Tiger Shark that just finished firing. At long range, he gets a single shot, needing 5+, but he damages on a 4. Let's see what we get. Oh, I'm using Tau dice. Well, no wonder that missed. That takes care of the last activation for the orcs. So now we just have the ground defenses of Tau left. The first Skyfire platform is going to shoot at this Daka Jet. He's at short range, so he only gets 4 shots, needing 5s and 5s to hit and damage. We got a single hit. Let's see if we can do a damage. And we rolled a 6, so that means he's going to take a damage point. So the final 2 Tau activations are going to be these 2 ground defenses over here. We'll start with the Sky Fury. He's going to shoot at this fighter bomber. That fighter bomber is sitting at altitude 3. Oh, he can't be shot at. Oh, yes, he can. Skyfire has an effective altitude of 2. So altitudes 1 and 2, he would hit on a 5+. Altitude 3, he needs 6s. But he also has 10 shots at this range, medium range. So I've got 8 dice. I'm just going to have to re-roll 2 dice. Rolling to hit. And I'll take those 2. So I got 1, 2 6s so far. These need 5+ to damage. And he will take a damage point. And finally, we have the Storm Fury platform. Again, he's at medium range as well, to the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, he's long range there. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to take a shot at him. Oh wait, no, I got long range 2 shots as well. So I'm going to take 2 shots at him, hope to shoot him down. He has effective altitude of 4, so the fact that the fighter bomber is only at altitude 3, I'm hitting him on 5s. So 5s to hit. Oh, it's teasing me. Oh, and it hit. And at this, we do damage on a 2 plus extra damage on a 6. Can we get a 6? We got a 6. That's 2 extra points of damage. That brings 3 points of damage to this fighter bomber. He's been shot down. So this is the end of turn 1. We're about to roll off for turn 2. I've already given orders to everyone. So far, the Tau seem to be doing the best. They've shot down a fighter bomber, a Daka jet, damaged another Daka jet, and damaged one of the objectives. But they have lost their Barracuda, so that's all their fighter support gone. On the other hand, the Tiger Sharks are all undamaged, as are all the Tau objectives. So, rolling to see who gets first turn or activation. Green is Orcs, white is Tau. And it looks like Orcs are going first, which is not advantageous to them. They've lost their advantage of having more activations. It's now 3 aircraft versus 3 aircraft. We'll have to see what the Orcs can do. So first thing to activate is going to be the Orc Heavy Bomber. He's gone for a straight ahead move. He's at speed 3. He'll continue at that speed. 1, 2, 3. And he'll maintain his altitude at 3. Again, he's trying to protect himself from too much incoming fire from the Skyfire anti-aircraft platforms. The Orc Tiger Shark here also has maneuver 1. He was traveling at speed 3, but, he's traveling speed 2. I'm going to drop him down to speed 1. The reason for this is twofold. He does better at longer ranges, but more importantly, he stays out of the short range of the Orcs longer. So at this distance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, I now have range to the Daka jet, the ground defense, and the Orc objective. So the Orc fighter bomber is going to do something desperate. He's got a maneuver 1, which is the straight ahead. He's traveling at speed 6 at altitude 3. This Skyfire ground defense is going to wreak havoc on him as he drops to try to drop bombs on the objective. He only has a throttle of 1, so he can only reduce his speed by 1. He's traveling at 6, he can drop to 5. That's not a good idea, because that would put him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he wouldn't be able to drop bombs because, believe it or not, the minimum range for all weapons is 1. So he's going to keep at speed 6. 1, 2, make his turn. 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to drop 2 altitude because he's going more than 5. Oops. He now has that ground defense in his back arc. But because he's pushed his aircraft past its maximum speed, we have to test to see if it breaks. I reread the rules. Doesn't matter about the handling. It's a 3+, you're safe. 1 or 2, you suffer structure point. And he is safe with a 3. For the Tau, the heavy railgun Tiger Shark, going forward, he's reducing his speed from 3 to 1. It's nice to have throttle 2 on a heavy like this. Maintain the same altitude, he's going forward 1, and that way he can continue to shoot his maximum shots at long range at that objective. That just leaves our last Orc Daka jet. He's actually doing a turn. He's running at speed 8, altitude 1. He's going to maintain the altitude and the speed. turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops. Turn over this way and go one more hex. He's now going to be range 2 from the heavy rail variant of the Tiger Shark. And he's in short range, which is his best range for shooting. That leaves our last Tiger Shark, and he's going forward as well, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to reduce his speed to speed 1, maintain altitude 1, go forward, and that way he's going to have maximum number of turns firing at his objective at the far side of the table. That will take care of all the movement for turn 2. So Orcs have first activation. I was tempted to drop bombs from the fighter bomber first, but then I realized that this particular Dakka jet is in short range to another Skyfire platform, and he's already got 1 damage point. He only has 1 left. He may not survive long enough to shoot if I don't use him first. So here we go. 8 shots into the Tiger Shark, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And it looks like I got 2 damage, or 2 hits. Rolling to see if I damage. I will do 1 damage point onto the Tiger Shark. Tau activation. I would normally go with one of the aircraft first, but because this ground defense platform is going to probably get bombed on by the Orc aircraft, we'll shoot him first. Unfortunately, at short range, he only gets 4 shots. The good news is because the bomber is at altitude 1, we're hitting on 5s and damaging on 5s. So roll the dice, and oh, I managed to get 3 hits. If I can do damage on all 3, he's going to be shot down before he can drop his bombs. And unfortunately, he only gets 1 hit. So fighter bomber takes a hit, and then we'll go straight to his activation. Fighter bomber is going to drop his bombs. So here we go with the Orc dropping his bombs. He's only going to drop 1 of his 2 pairs. He gets 4 dice because he's at altitude 1. Instead of hitting on 5s, he's hitting on 4s. And with wing bombs, he's damaging on 2, doing extra damage with a 5+. So let's see if he can hit him with 4+. We get 2 hits. Now we just need to see if we can destroy the defense platform. And he rolled a 6. 6 will give him extra damage. That platform only has 2 structures. The platform is gone. For Tau activation, we're going to have this platform shoot at the Dakka jet. He's at short range, but he's at altitude 1, meaning he's hitting on 5s and damaging on 5s. Let's see what we get. Well, we got 1 hit. If we roll a 5+, the Dakka jet goes down because it's already damaged. Oops. And we rolled a 3. The Dakka jet is safe for now. So next activation, the Orc heavy flak cannon is going to take a shot at the heavy rail mounted Tiger Shark. He's at long range, so he gets 1 shot. Good news is it doesn't impact his 5+ to hit, and he damages on a 4. So let's see what happens. 5 to hit. Oh, he rolled a 6. Needing 4+ to damage. If he gets a 6, it's 2 damage points. 5. So Tiger Shark's going to suffer 1 more damage point. So heavy railgun Tiger Shark, he's going to shoot next. He's going to fire his long-range railguns at this objective here. But because the Dakka jet is on his level, he's going to fire his ion drones at the Dakka jet. So first we're going to shoot at the objective with the railguns. That is 3 shots, needing 5s to hit. No hits with the railgun. Unfortunately, he cannot hit with the missiles because it's not an air target. So at short range, he gets 2 shots with the drone, 2 dice, 5+, 1 hits, and ion drones damage on a 4+. Gets a 6. He shoots down the Dakajet. And that will be the end of his activation. The final orc activation is the Heavy Bomber. Unfortunately, he's at altitude 3. He can't shoot at anything, and his weapons don't have range to anything. He's really only got bombs and guns. So we're going to go over now to the last gun defense for the Tau, and that is a Storm Fury cannon, range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's at long range. He gets 2 shots, needing 5s to hit, 2s to damage. And he will hit once. And he will do 2 points of damage. So Heavy Bomber takes 2 points. Oh, but the Heavy Bomber has extra armor. On a 6, he ignores the damage. And he fell, so he will take the 2 damage. Which reminds me, I never did check for damage on the extra armor on the Tiger Shark. So he's got 2 points. Let's see if he saved any of that. The answer is no, so he damages stands. So the far Tiger Shark over there is going to take and shoot his rail guns over here. Unfortunately, he hasn't got the angle or range to shoot at any of the other aircraft. At this range, he gets 2 shots, needing 5s to hit, and 2s to damage. And we got a hit. Needing 2+, 6 does extra damage, and he does a single damage point. So final Tiger Shark is doing the final activation. He's going to take and fire at this orc objective. Again, this range is long range. 2 shots, needing a 5 to hit, 2+ to damage. Well, we got a damage, or a hit. Need 2+, 6 does extra damage. And he takes 2 points of damage onto that structure. Oops. So here we are at the end of turn 2, beginning of turn 3. You can see orcs are down to 2 planes. If they lose 1 more aircraft, they will be below 25%, and the next turn will be a disengagement turn. Tau are doing really well. They've got damage on all the orc strongholds. Unfortunately, the orcs have not damaged any of the Tau strongholds, so at this point the best they could hope for is a draw. But I think with all the damage that's been done so far, they're not going to get that even. So getting turn 3, let's see who's going to get first activation. Green orc, white is Tau. And it looks like orcs are going to get first activation, which they do not want. So first orc activation is going to be the Heavy Bomber. He's going straight. Unfortunately for him, he's going to have to start dropping altitude. He's traveling at speed 3 right now. If he drops, he's going to exceed his maximum speed because of the heavy armor. So he's going to drop down to speed 2. And he's going to drop, or go forward is 2, 1, 2, and drop to altitude 2. Which is dangerous for him because now he's in range with no penalties of that Sky Fury ground defense. Tau activation. The first Tiger Shark to maneuver 1. He's going to maintain a speed of 1, go forward 1. And he's going to be ready to shoot at that orc stronghold again. Finally, we have the orc fighter bomber. He's doing a snap turn. He's going to go forward or drop his speed from 6 to 5. He only has a throttle of 1. He's going to go 1, 2, turn around, 3, 4, 5. And the advantage here is he can actually drop his bombs here because the arc is bisecting that particular objective. He'll drop his last set of bombs on that objective. And hopefully he'll destroy it. Meanwhile, on the Tau side, again, the heavy rail, he's going to go forward 1. He's going to be sharing that hex with his Tau stronghold. And we'll do the same for this. So at this point, Tau are all done their movements. It's now time for the Orc activations. So what do you do when you're an Orc and you're desperate for points? Well, the fighter bomber's going to do everything he can. First, he's going to drop his remaining bombs on top of that objective behind him. It's in his rear arc. It's split between the side and the rear, so it is a valid target for the rear, which is bombs. But more importantly, that tiger shark there is split by his front and side arcs as well. That means he can hit it with both the front and the side weapons. So he's got quad shooters for 8 dice, then he's got a turret for another 3 dice, plus he has the extra guns for another 2 dice. He's got 13 shots at that tiger shark. And as they're all at the same altitude, he's hitting on 5s. Damaging on 5s, but he's hitting on 5s. He's got 13 dice. He can do stuff. Okay, so let's take away the misses. Managed to get 4 hits so far. And he does a single point of damage to the tiger shark. It's not much, but every little bit helps. Next, he's going to drop his bombs on that objective. He's got 4 bombs hitting on 4s because he's at altitude 1. Oh dear, only 1 hit. And it will do 1 point of damage on a 2+, but on 5+ it does 2 points. And it will only do a single point of damage. Not a good ending for the fighter bomber. So in reaction, the Tau Storm Fury platform is going to take and shoot at the heavy bomber. It's at medium range, so it's getting 2 shots, hitting on 5s, damaging on 2s. Ooh, we got 1 hit. Needing 2+ to damage. The 6 will do extra damage. And the heavy bomber takes a point of damage. The Orc activation, the heavy bomber, he finally can do some shooting, though not the kind of shooting he'd probably prefer. He's at altitude 2, but both these tiger sharks are at altitude 1. So he can shoot at them, but he'll require 6s to hit. At this point, he's going to shoot his forward guns at the heavy railgun variant tiger shark. And he's going to take and do his port big shooters, all against the red railgun variant. And he's got a dorsal turret that goes all around and up. He's going to add that to the forward turret, or to the forward guns. So at medium range, he's getting 2 for the nose turret, 2 for the dorsal turret. He's getting 4 shots against that heavy rail tiger shark. He needs 6s to hit and 5s to damage. No damage. Now shooting at that tiger shark, he only has 3 shots. Again, needing 6s to hit and 5s to damage. Oh, he got 2 hits. We just need 5s. Whoops. No, unfortunately, he rolled a 5 total. So much for the Heavy Bomber's activation. So the final Sky Fury ground defense. He's at medium range to the fighter bomber. He's going to take and try to shoot him down. Fighter bomber is now at altitude 1, so it's 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And at medium range, the Sky Fury gets 10 shots. Pretty good odds. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits. Needing 5s to damage, and he needs to do 2 damage points to shoot down the fighter bomber. And he got 1, so the fighter bomber is on his 2nd damage point. Oh, and I forgot to drop his bombs. So here we are, beginning turn 4. The orders are all out. Orcs are really suffering here. They're down to 2 aircraft, and one of them, the fighter bomber, is down to 1 structure point left. The heavy bomber has a structure point as well. More importantly, all of the orc strongholds have damage. Meanwhile, on the Tau side, they've lost a Barracuda and one of the defense platforms, and only one of the Tau strongholds has been damaged. On the other hand, 2 Tiger Sharks have 2 damage points, so they haven't gotten away scot-free, but they probably are ahead in points at this point in time. Let's see who's going to take first activation. Green is Orcs, white is Tau. And it looks like the Orcs take first activation again, whether they want it or not. So for the first Orc activation, the predictable heavy bomber, he's doing a level flight. He's at speed 3 because of his die blast turn. He's going to drop down to speed 2, which will let him move forward twice. Drop down to altitude 1, so he's now finally at an altitude he can strafe other aircraft, and because he dropped, he can now do strafing, and he's back at speed 3. First Tau activation, we're going to move the Tiger Shark forward, again speed 1, altitude 1. What's interesting is he's in good position to shoot at the heavy bomber, but he's at short range. I don't know if I want to do that. Final Orc activation, we're going to do another one of those snap turns. He's at speed 5 right now. I'm going to drop him down to speed 4. Turn, 1, 2, 3. Turn back the way he came, back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's at short range now. Whoops. He's at short range now to strafe that stronghold. But we gotta remember, he's only got 1 structure point left, so he's probably going to have to activate it first. Next activation, again, I'm going to go with forward 1. Put that structure back where it was. And he's going to stay there. There are no more Orc activations, so activate the last one, and again, move forward 1. And that will take care of all the movement in turn 4. So here we are sitting here with our poor Orc fighter bomber with 1 wound left. Time to try to take out that objective before he gets shot down. He's got 8 shots default. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 2 shots for the extra guns. And finally, I can't use the turret because the turret shoots up, not down. So we're going to be shooting 10 shots at the objective, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. Ooh, not a bad roll. 3 hits. If he hits all of them, he'll destroy the objective. And he does 1 damage. But he's halfway there. So desperately trying to protect that objective from being destroyed, the Storm Fury will take a shot at the fighter bomber. At this range, he's got 2 shots, needing 5s to hit and 2s to damage. Oh, this doesn't look good. 2 hits, needing 2+, and he's got it. The last fighter bomber is shot down. The orcs are at 25% or less. They will now be forced to disengage next turn. Next turn is the last turn of the game. Forgot to roll the extra armor on that fighter bomber, but I just did. Rolled a 2, so unfortunately the fighter bomber still goes down. So orcs have pretty much lost this game. What do you do if you're an orc player and no chance of winning? You go out with a blaze of glory. So first off, Heavy Bomber is going to fire off everything he has. Nose cannon and dorsal turret will all shoot forward at the heavy railgun Tiger Shark. And then he's going to shoot his side guns at the other Tiger Shark. And I think I actually have range. I can attack with the other side to the other Tiger Shark. So we're going to just try to see how much damage we can do to all the Tiger Sharks. So forward weapons, we have 4 in the main gun. Then we have another 3 in the turret for a total of 7 dice shooting forward, needing 5s and 5s. And we only get 1 hit, but it will damage. So the Tiger Shark here will go from 2 points of damage to 3. Next up, we'll fire the port side at this one. He's at short range, just barely. Port guns are 6 dice at this range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, needing 5s and 5s to hit. No hits. And finally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we just barely made it in. He's at medium range to that last Tiger Shark on the starboard side. He gets 3 shots, needing 5s and 5s. Ooh, 2 hits, needing 5s to damage. And he will do another damage point on him, so he goes from 2 to 3 damage as well. And that's pretty much the end of the Orc Air Force. It's just going to be the ground defenses for the rest of the game for the Orc. The Storm Fury or Storm Fire platform, shooting at the Heavy Bomber. He's at short range, so he doesn't get maximum fire. He's going to get 4 shots, needing 5s and 5s. I'll get 1 hit, and it will damage. So the Heavy Bomber goes up to 2 points of damage. Don't worry, he's got lots of hull point left. So the flak platform here is going to be shooting at this particular railgun. Unfortunately, at long range, he's only getting 2 shots. 5s and 5s. Missed. That takes care of him. Meanwhile, the railgun is going to shoot at that platform again. He's at range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's still at long range. So he's going to be taking 2 shots, needing 5s to hit, 2s to damage. Oh, 2 6s, they're both hit. He needs 2 pluses to damage. 6s give him extra damage. And he got his 2 damage. He goes from 2 damage to 4 damage. He's destroyed. So Tau have successfully destroyed one of the objectives. So the heavy flat cannon, he's at medium range to the tiger shark. He's going to take 2 shots, needing 5s to hit. And if he hits, it's only 4 plus to damage. We get a hit. 4 plus, 6 is extra damage. Oh, he rolled a 1. No damage for you. So the Tau heavy railgun tiger shark is going to fire his 3 shots at his objective. Again, needing 5s to damage or hit. Holy cow, 3 6s. He's going to need 2 pluses to damage, but because it's the heavy railgun, he does extra damage on a 5 plus. Oh dear. So 2 do nothing, or the 2 ones do nothing. We only do a single damage point to this objective. And that takes care of that tiger shark. The last tiger shark doing a long range shot to this orc outpost from that tiger shark. 2 shots, needing 5s to hit and 6s to damage, or 5s and 2s to damage. 6 extra damage. 2 hits with the railgun, needing 2 pluses, and we got a 6 for 2 damage point and a 5 for a 3rd point. That takes him up to 5 damage. That orc objective has been destroyed. And I completely forgot about this flak battery here. He's going to take his shots over at the railgun there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 medium range. He's going to get a total of 4 shots, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. 1 hit, and he damages him, taking the tiger shark to 4 damage. 1 more damage point and the tiger shark is gone. So we're at the end of turn 4, beginning of turn 5. Orcs have lost all their aircraft but 1. They are now at 25% or less. That makes turn 5 the last turn, the disengagement turn. Best thing Orc can do is try to disengage and save points, but with a bomber moving that slow, he's not going to make it off the table. So second best choice would be to try to get some points while he still can. Same is going to happen to the Tau. We're just going to have to see what happens here. So as sad as this is to see, let's roll to see who gets first activation. And the Tau get first activation this time. So Tau activation first. The tiger shark tailing the heavy bomber is going to fire first. The bad news is he's so close he can't use the railgun. So he's going to use his missile pod. He gets 1 shot with that, needing a 5 to hit. Misses. However, he also has that cyclonic ion blaster drone, which will give him 2 shots at short range, again needing 5s to hit. And he'll miss with both of those too. So he does not stop the orc heavy bomber before the heavy bomber does his damage. So our brave orc bomber pilot, he's gonna do what needs to be done. First, because he's got the 1 Tau stronghold in his back arc, he's going to drop both his regular bombs plus the pair of big bombs that he was carrying at the same time on that objective. Then he's going to fire all the guns he can forward into the other objective at short range. He's got maximum firepower. And his side guns, plus the dorsal turret, are all going to fire on that heavy rail cannon Tiger Shark. Let's start with the bombs. So he's got a total of 10 dice. 4, 5, 6, 10. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. 10 bombs on the first objective. Needing force to hit because he's at altitude 1. He's going to hit 5 times. Bombs do damage on a... Ooh, I should have separated those. I'm going to have to roll those again. So first 4 bombs from the regular bomb bay. He's going to hit twice. These do damage on a 2+, extra damage on a 5+. And we got 2 points of damage from the regular bombs. Then we have 6 from the heavy bomb, or the big bombs. Again, we're hitting on 4s. And I've got 3 hits with the big bombs. They're damaging on a 2, but they do extra damage on a 4. And there's another 4 points of damage just from the big bombs. The Tau lose an untouched objective. Now let's try strafing the one in front. I'm tempted to go for the one farthest away in front. That would give him a better chance of damaging it, but that's at long range. He only gets 2 dice for that, so we're just going to try 4 shots into the close one. And again, 5s and 5s. We get 2 hits with the guns, and we will do 1 point of damage to the objective in the middle. And finally, shooting the guns to the side, he starts off with 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus he's going to add the dorsal turret for another 3, for a total of 9 dice into that Tiger Shark. Now Tiger Shark has 4 damage. 1 more point, he's going down. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. And he only needs 1 to shoot it down. And he got it, 1-6. So the Tiger Shark is gone. And thus, the Orc Bomber got what revenge he could. So feeling threatened by all the remaining gun posts out there on the Orc side, the last Tiger Shark is going to take a shot at the final objective, or strong point. He's sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. He's at medium range, which is where he really wants to be. He gets 3 shots with the railgun, needing 5s to hit and 6s to 2s to damage. No hits. The final objective is safe because none of the ground targets can shoot at it. He is in short range, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the bomber. He's going to take and shoot his ion blaster at them, needing 5s to hit. And we got nothing again. That poor Tau driver got rattled pretty bad when he lost his buddy. So this flat platform is going to shoot first. At this range, he's getting 4 shots at the Tau Tiger Shark, needing 5s and 5s. Ooh, 3 hits. He only needs 2 damage to take out that Tiger Shark. And, well, he's got 1. We're up to 4 points. 1 more point of damage and the Tiger Shark goes down. Not the best angle of attack. The Sky Fury is going to shoot at the Orc Heavy Bomber. At short range, he only gets 4 shots, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. Oops. Well, we got 2 hits, needing 5s to damage, and we got 2 damage points. So the Orc Heavy is up to 4 points of damage. Bad news for the Orcs, but it's the heaviest vehicle out there. I believe he has, yeah, he's got 6 structure points. He needs 2 more points before he's shot down. Back to the Orcs. The heavy flak gun is going to get 2 shots at the Tau Tiger Shark, needing 5s and then 4s. And he gets a hit, damages on a 4+, and it's a 5. That'll take another point off the Tiger Shark, which will shoot him down. So last shot on the Tau side is going to be the Stormfire or Storm Fury platform. He's at very short range. He only gets a single shot, but if he hits, there's a chance he can do the 2 points required to shoot down the Orc Heavy Bomber. Needing a 5+ to hit, he hits. Needing a 2+ to do damage, he gets a 4, not enough to do 2 points, but the Heavy Bomber is down to 1 structure point left. And the final shot of the game goes to the flak platform. Medium range to the last Tau Tiger Shark. He gets 4 shots, needing 5s and 5s. And he will not hit at all. And that will end shooting and the game. So looking at Orc losses, Orcs gave up half points for the damaged Heavy Bomber as it was damaged but not shot down, for a total of 17 points. They also lost 2 Daka Jets at 16 points each and 2 Fighter Bombers for 25 points each, for a total of 99 points of damaged or destroyed aircraft. The structure points on the bases were a total of 10, 2 structures destroyed completely, for another 50 points, which gave us Orc total losses of 149 points. For the Tau losses, the Tau lost a Barracuda at 29 points, Tiger Shark with railguns for 30 points, and the heavy rail Tiger Shark for 34 points. As well, we lost a Stormfire ground defense for another 9 points, for 102 points total damage on aircraft and ground defenses. And the Orcs did 7 structure points on the outposts for an additional 35 points. So total losses or damage for the Tau is 137 points. For the final scores, there is a mission-specific victory point bonus. For every structure point still on a team's outpost, the home team gets an additional 5 points. So for final scores, Tau got 149 points worth of damage on the Orcs. No list bonus because the Orcs had 150 points on their list exactly. And by preserving 5 structure points, received an additional mission-specific bonus of 25 points for a total of 174 points. Orcs got their 137 points for damage to Tau. They got 2 extra points because the Tau were 2 points under 150 of the mission size. And they got 10 mission-specific bonus points for keeping 2 structure points on their last outpost for a total of 149 points. So Tau win by 25 points. It's a Tau victory. Note that before the preserved structure mission-specific bonuses, Orcs were only behind 12 points. So it really was a close game until you added the mission-specific points. So just a quick Orc review of what I thought went well, what didn't go well in the game. What was good? I liked the Heavy Bomber. It does an incredible amount of damage, tough as nails. The way it was fighting, it probably could have tied the game. It did a lot of work in the last 2 turns. Wing bombs on the fighter bomber rather than rockets. The bombs give me more dice, and the damage potential with each dice hit is higher with bombs than with rockets. Fighter bomber speed, even with extra armor, there's plenty of speed. I would probably consider using that again. What wasn't so good? Well, the heavy bomber was just too slow, and I made it much slower just by putting on the extra armor. It reduced it from a maximum speed of 4 to a maximum speed of 3. I don't think I would do that again. The heavy bomber with the 6 structure points, it's plenty tough enough as it is. Next issue was the extra armor. Sadly, I kept forgetting I had it, and I kept forgetting to roll for it. That's all my fault. But it's something to keep in mind. You know, if you're going to take and allocate extra features on your aircraft, you got to remember to use them. Next, Dakajet's vulnerability to damage. With only 2 structure points, it's very easy to shoot down, especially when you're dealing with weapons that do extra damage. Many of the Tau weapons, except for the underwing mounts, did extra damage, so it became a problem. The other last thing I'm going to mention is lack of long-range fire. Even the performance of the ground defense was badly affected by the fact that they didn't have any real long-range fire capability. Tau were able to keep attacking the bases from long range for multiple turns, and the ground defense could do very little about it. The Tau were pretty much immune to everything until the fighters, the fighter bombers, and the heavy bomber got into short range. Possible changes I would make to this list: I might replace the Daka jets and extra armor for another heavy bomber. The heavies were just very hard to shoot down and took so much damage. It might be interesting to play the mission with 2 rather than 1, and then they can support each other or come down the table edge on either flank. Drop extra armor for more wing weapons on all aircraft, especially off of the heavy bombers. The heavy bombers, it just slowed them down too much. The other possibility, you could drop the extra guns for the Wasmix Special add-on, which increases the maximum speed, even with armor on, from 3 to 4. But your minimum speed with the armor on and the special would only be 3, so you only have a range of 2 before you're either braking it from going too fast or stalling it from going too slow. So yeah, the extra armor on the heavy bomber, really have to consider that. Another option is to replace the wing bombs with rockets on the fighter bombers to attack distance targets rather than doing flybys. Again, this goes back to how well you think you roll your dice. I would even consider maybe a mix, some rockets and some bombs. That way the fighter bombers could clear the way shooting at ground defenses with their rockets, and then bomb the objectives after the ground defenses have been damaged. I liked the use of 2 wing bombs instead of the heavy bombs on the heavy bomber. I didn't really need to just have 1 set of heavy bombs. The targets themselves, with only 4 structure points, 2 sets of regular bombs, including the stuff that was in the bomber itself, would probably take out a target, and you would still have an extra attack for another objective if you needed it. And finally, if you can get your opponent or event organizer to allow it, maybe consider using 4 fighter bombers instead of Daka jets and heavy bombers. Remember, fighter bombers are a class fighter, so you would have to get your opponent's approval or your event organizer to approve it first. For my review with the Tau, what was good? I enjoyed the Tiger Sharks. They have good structure points, good range of speed from 1 to 5. They all do maneuvers 1 through 4, unusual for an aircraft that size. And with a throttle of 2, made them a little more unpredictable, and it's unusual for throttle 2 on such a large aircraft. The large choice of weapons also makes them more interesting and more unpredictable when you're setting up your army list. The Skyfire and Storm Fury platform ground defenses, good rates of fire at long and medium range, especially medium range. that forced the enemy to take multiple turns of fire before they could attack with their short-range bombs. They're more responsible for keeping the enemy away than anything else in this game. Finally, the maneuverability of the Barracuda with maneuvers from 1 through 7. What's not to like? If you play them correctly, you can dance all around the enemy, and there's not many other aircraft that can match them. What wasn't so good? Well, the Barracuda's 2 structure points made it very vulnerable to weapons fire, same as the Daca jet. The other issue is with the Barracuda being as expensive as it is, it's harder to justify putting extra options on it. The armored cockpit, once again, I kept forgetting about it. That's my fault, not the rules. A little disappointing was the railgun low rate of fire. While the railguns all have great potential damage on a 2+, you still have to hit first 2 shots for most of the game, and the way I roll, I just wasn't hitting as often as I figured I should. It'd be nice if they got an extra shot each range band, but I wouldn't count on it simply because they are such a powerful gun. Finally, the last thing I want to mention is all Tau aircraft suffer from lack of short-range fire. The only really useful short-range weapons that are available are the cyclic ion drones, and even they only have 2 shots at short range. Craft with the burst cannon as main weapon actually have more shots, but they tend to be much more expensive, and they really do better at medium range rather than at short. Railguns have no shots at short range, and the ion cannons only get a single shot per barrel on the airframe, so unless you're ready to take a chance, you're pretty much going to be required to equip your aircraft with ion drones. Possible changes I would make: I could have attacked with the one version of Tiger Shark with the smaller railgun into medium range much more sooner and get more shots per turn off. The disadvantage of that is the Tiger Sharks would have been exposed to more ground fire, and it becomes significantly more the closer you get in. Another option was to replace the Tiger Sharks with an ion cannon variant. You get more shots at medium range, less potential of doing damage though, as the shots only hit on a 4+. But it is an option if you find the 2-shot or a 3-shot per turn rate of fire for the railguns to be too low. Another option: replace ion drones for long-barreled burst cannon drones for more long-range fire. That's what I did with the Barracuda. It had burst cannons, and by adding the burst cannon drones, it just gave me more shots. It makes it useful for strafing ground targets, but you're still more vulnerable against orcs and other races that have good short-range weapons. Another possibility was to replace the Barracuda with an ion cannon variant to save points. It still has more shots than the railgun version, and the weapon does do extra damage on a 6. One option I considered was to replace the heavy railgun version of the Tiger Shark with pretty much any other version of the Tiger Shark. The heavy railgun didn't really do much more than the smaller Swift Strike railguns at long range, and once they got into medium range, it loses a shot per turn. The Ion version might have been better for overall damage potential once you got into medium range, simply because of the number of shots. The burst cannon definitely gives you a lot more shots, but you're damaging on 5+, and it's much more expensive. There is a paired plasma accelerator version. I really don't like it because it's all firepower at short range. That makes the Tiger Shark having to close in too close to the enemy, and the rest of the Air Force just wouldn't be able to help out. My final option I considered was to swap the Tiger Shark with the heavy railgun for another Barracuda with extra weapons and such. The problem with this is I don't think the Barracudas have staying power, and you're losing ground attack potential. I think if you could figure out a way, and I worked out a couple, that you could take 3 Barracudas and 3 Tiger Sharks it would maybe be more useful. The problem with that is you're having minimal options with the barracudas and the tiger sharks, and some people may not be comfortable with some of the options. Overall, I think the Tau are a good race. It's just going to take a little bit of learning how to use them, as they're so much different from most other races in the game so far. Anyway, that's all for this battle report. This is my first one I'm posting. It's taken me a long time to compile this, more than 2 weeks, so don't expect anything right away if I do another one. Any feedback on what you liked or what you didn't like would be appreciated, and I'll try to come up with something useful at a later date. You all take care of yourselves out there and be safe.